Queen Mab is also above Prisoner of Darkness, by the way, so now Queen Mab is number one. There is only one other book that is above Queen Mab. I will get to it later. This is also another book that I actually didn't end up finishing. All of the books that are underneath the ones that I didn't end up finishing, it's because they're just so infuriating. And like these books, yeah, I didn't finish them. That's mostly because they made me tired rather than they're just being infuriating. This book is called All of Us with Wings. Also notice that all of the books that I don't finish are usually YA, just like this one. I think it falls under urban fantasy since it's in San Francisco. So it's a good mix of like fantasy and urban, but meh. There is like trigger warning on this. There's sexual abuse, hard drug use, and loss of a loved one. The main character is a self-representation of the author. Um, I say that because self-insert is so bad, and like I feel like self-insert is usually associated with bad things, but I think self-inserts can be good when they're good. Um, I believe the main character's name is Xochi, because it's Xochi. I don't know how to pronounce that. She's a governess to a girl named Palace. They're having a party, and Xochi just wants to sleep, party things. She gets a little lost outside, and she's got like I don't know what's going on at the beginning of this. Palace like sees her mom with a dude with a bunch of tattoos or something like that, and then Xochi ends up at his tattoo shop, and I think she gets a piercing. Palace is like 12, and the word Victorian is used to describe like everything in this book, and it's very annoying. They make a pretend potion while listening to the song Fates and Furies in a bathtub, and then they summon otherworldly creatures by accident. Kylan, Palace's brother, he's into tarot and stuff, and like Sochi's tongue piercing has a Celtic knot on it. Peas Blossom is a cat. I think he's their familiar. And the creatures are like creature cops, but I don't really know what they're for. And some old lady named Hag tells the cat that they have breakfast and go on like a city tour or something like that. I didn't know what was happening, and I only got like 50 pages in. I was very confused. Um, Everyone has a weird name and weird appearance. Everything feels cringe. Uh, I, I'm just bored, and like that's why I always say that like I'm pretty sure there's some YA that I like. I just don't like this. Like there's a point where show don't tell becomes too much though. Like I know that that's usually the rule, but you gotta tell some stuff. All of Us with Wings goes above the selection because at least the book didn't make me angry with the stupid character names. The next book is Between Plastic Magician and Black God's Drums. It is called Secret of the Sirens. It is the first book in the Companions Quartet. It came out in 2006 and it is by Julia Golding. It is a fantasy, and I've read this book before, but I don't remember all of the details. They're looking for someone who can speak to the sirens because shit's whack. Connie's our main character, and she can speak to all the creatures, but no one knows that yet. Most companions are one-on-one. Connie is not. She's a universal companion. And since I've read this before, I'm gonna like... I skimmed the book, and I like made broad gestures with the plot notes. So Connie's friends with a seagull. His name is Skark, and she visits him every day, and she lives with her aunt, because she's weird, so her family doesn't really want to deal with her. She meets Colin, and he's got mismatched eyes like her. There are sirens, and they're attacking people. This book is basically about environmentalism, sort of, because that's why the sirens are so angry. Like, later in the story, they try to crash a ship, and Connie has to stop them. Um, Connie's aunt talks of danger, and they're gonna find out if she can join. And Colin's like, nah, she's not a siren companion. She likes the four-legged boys because he saw her interact with a hamster. And Colin is kind of like jealous of her because he was like the leader of the young people in their organization, but then Connie came in, like she can talk to everything. So it's like, what? And his companion are Pegasuses. Pegasi. I don't know what the plural of Pegasus is, but his companions is the Pegasus. Connie tests to see if she can get in, and she lights up all of the creatures, but the examiner is like, no, you failed, so you can't do it. And she's like, what? Connie goes out. They go out. Not Connie. They go out to see the Sirens, and Connie stows away on the ship, and the Sirens take her, and they talk to her and tell her about the big bad, whose name is in here somewhere. So I will get to it later. Um, they want the humans to stop, and the big bad wants humans to stop completely, like living and breathing, because the companions, they weren't always companions. They used to be like the dominant species on the planet, but then the humans like fucked everything up, so now they're mostly in hiding. It's pretty dank. Dank? Not dank. It's pretty whack. There we go. Um there's oil in the water, so also the organization I was talking about, they're called the Society for the Protection of Mythical Creatures. And like Colin is being like so bitchy about it. Like Connie didn't know what was gonna happen. Fuck. I feel like I'm talking about Connie from Steven Universe because that's her name. But anyway, Connie has till the winter to figure out something, or Big Bad Calavero is going to make something happen. And they tell no one else that she's the Universal right now, not even Colin. And when she tells Colin, Colin is angry. Calavero is also a shapeshifter, which is why Connie can speak to him, because, like Neo and Mr. Smith, they're supposed to be opposites of each other. Like, okay. Connie starts training with a Stormbird. It's pretty cool. She's been avoiding Colin because, he's being a bitch. And Connie bonds with the bird, and they're growing impatient with the humans. Colin's training isn't going very well. Neither does his apology. Connie's next for the Rock Dwarves, and then the Selkies. Mr. Coddington, the asshole who rejected her test about... I haven't braided at all during this. The asshole who rejected her test in to try and get into the society. He is like trying to be nice, but then Calavero comes, and I think he knocks Mr. Coddington out and kidnaps her. Or Calavero pretended to be Mr. Coddington, and Mr. Coddington wasn't like a part of it at all. I don't know. Calavero's all full of threats. And yeah. So Skark comes, the seagull, and he kills Skark, and I'm sad about it because I like Skark, but whatever, I guess. And Colin comes with the Pegasus, and he saves her because he suddenly is able to do the thing with the Pegasus because, plot device. They needed to save Connie, and they needed something that could fly, so Pegasus. Calavero is her opposite and equal, so only she can defeat him. December comes, and Connie's being normal with her brother and her family, but he might also have a companion because cats really like him, so that's pretty cool. I think everybody also has like a quote unquote normal animal equivalent that they can speak to. I do not remember what Collins is, but I'm pretty sure I remember that being a thing that was mentioned. Storm is coming, along with Calavero destroying a tanker, and he wants to drown the crew, but Connie sends him off with the help of a kraken, and they save the boat. The oil company also loses its shares because you can't just... I mean, at least not in this world. In our world you can, but you can't just dump a bunch of water into a water supply in fiction and expect nothing to happen. So, yeah. It's a cute book, and I like the world building. The target demographic was 11-year-olds to 14-year-olds, but I still like it, and I feel like as a fantasy writer, I appreciate it, and I'm going to read the other 3 because I own them, so I'm going to read them. Connie wouldn't know this stuff, so it's fine that there's a ton of world building in it. And I'm getting better at the braiding, though, because I realized that my biggest problem before was the fact that when I would grab the next strand of hair, I was grabbing too much hair. But it's going better now. So hopefully all of my braids stay. I don't think I need that, actually. We'll see. Nowhere. What was... Like, Connie was a mostly normal child, even though she could talk to seagulls. She never really told anybody about that, so her aunt wouldn't have had her tested sooner. because she thought it was weird because like normal people can't speak to animals, so she didn't say anything about it. They don't really say why Connie lives with her aunt instead of living with her parents because her brother still lives with her parents. And Colin, I like Colin. He struggles with his jealousy, which is pretty cool. And they also still have to be normal kids at school, and it's very visible with Connie's family because her family comes to visit for Christmas, and she's not really digging them a whole lot. Her parents don't really seem to understand her, and like not in that like prissy way that sometimes children say that their parents don't understand them. Like they literally don't understand her, which is fair because Connie can talk to animals, including animals that she previously believed did not exist. So, um, so, uh, I feel like this book is age appropriate for the group that it's written for, and I like the idea of the companions. And there are actually five other books. There are four. There, not four. There are actually four other books. There are four in the companions quartet, and then there's one after this that was written more recently. Oh, that looks like it's gonna need a bobby pin. Um, the fifth book is this only in the same universe. It's not the same like story. There might be some like repeat characters in it, but yeah, I got like there's probably only gonna be one more braid. Secret of the Sirens, I already said where it goes. It goes between I lost it. It goes between Plastic Magician and Black God's Drums, so